Hi, my name is Joan Jacobson, and I researched and wrote this book called Colorado Phantasmagorias, a mashup of biography, fantasy, and travel guide. It won the 2022 Cal Award for Nonfiction History. In it, I profile 14 influential Coloradans. Some are famous, like Molly Brown and Adolph Coors, but a lot of them you've probably never heard of, yet they all left a legacy. And these aren't your usual biographies because in these stories, they time travel. That's the fantasy part. Thanks to a genie and a geode like this, they see their legacy in today's world. And you can experience it too. That's the travel guide part. Each story begins with a hallucination. The character touches the crystals inside the geode and sees the future. But of course, they don't know that it's the future. They think they're just seeing things that are really, really weird. After that initial scene, we go back and tell the factual backstory, but in an entertaining way. Today, I'm going to share a scene, the introductory scene, about one of the people that you probably have never heard of. Her name was Ora Chatfield. And in 1889, she eloped to marry Clara Dietrich. That's right, two women in 1889. Ora snuggles deep into her cousin's embrace. Clara smells delightfully of lavender. Outside the bedchamber window rise the twin summits of Mount Sopris, still clad in snow like the bodice of a wedding dress. A sprig of cool mint freshens her breath for kissing. The percussive patter of snow melting off the roof drips a musical accompaniment. Clara reads a poem. Deep in thy bosom I would rest, O golden blossom wide. The joys o'er which bees murmur deep, your Sappho senses may not steep. She stops reading, slips from Ora's side and kneels. Her skirt, with its minimum of frills and a bustle only as large as necessary, drapes gracefully. Even so, Ora sees that beneath the black folds, Clara is on one knee. Marry me, Miss Chatfield, my most beloved Ora. Ora thinks, what? Oh my goodness, such a suggestion. Ora responds with a caress to Clara's shoulder. Nonsense, it wouldn't be allowed. I'll dress as a man, Clara insists rather loudly because they believe they're alone in the house. I'm somewhat masculine in appearance. We'll go to the Justice of the Peace in Aspen. Ora thinks, marriage? You're Miss Clara Dietrich, a competent postmistress and a storekeeper. I'm just Ora, a schoolgirl, less than a year accustomed to the corset. Oh, my dear Clara, she says, where did you get such an idea? Clara reaches beneath her bed and pulls out a box. She cracks open the lid. Inside is a geode, one rock split into two halves with a gem-like core. Ora, my treasure, I have the means to support us. Clara hands her the geode. You see these purple crystals? They're more beautiful than diamonds from South Africa. Please accept this engagement gift. Say yes to my proposal. Ora takes the rock from Clara, brushes the crystals with her fingertips. She swoons. Weird shapes swirl before her eyes like images from the magic lantern of a phantasmagoria show. She gulps for breath. Clara, get the smelling salts. Clara lunges for the bottle on the dresser. "It's empty," she cries, smashing it against the floor in frustration. "I need air," gasps Aura. "My corset's too tight. I can't breathe." Clara starts unfastening the tiny buttons down Aura's front. Nimbly, but there are 12 in all. Aura's eyes lose focus. She grips the rock as strange visions and voices invade her senses. She sees a pair of men holding hands. They stand before a counter, as if in a government office. They're speaking to a woman, an official clerk perhaps. Large wire hoops dangle from her ears. Then the government counter dissolves before Aura's eyes. Now she envisions rows of people sitting on polished pews. A church? But there's a different woman. This one wearing the jacket of a man and a skirt so short it exposes her calves. People listen from a high bench. They're all wearing black robes, but no crosses and no stoles. So not a church, a courtroom. Clara keeps ripping apart Aura's buttons, but she's not working fast enough. Aura's visions grow even stranger. A woman in a white gown and a person in a white tuxedo. Another woman, discernible from the shape beneath the lapels. Aura perceives words, love and cherish. Wedding vows. Farther afield, two men embrace. A flag the colors of the rainbow flapping overhead. At last, her dozen buttons are released. Clara slips off Aura's bodice and rips apart the strings that pull the corset too tight. Aura drops the rock, inhaling a mountainful of air. The delirium disappears. Her corset falls to her hips. Clara holds her, cupping her fingers over the thin chemise covering Aura's breasts. They sink to the floor. Weeping in relief, neither hears the click of the lock or the squeak of the hinge. Only the smell of bear grease alerts them to danger. It's Mr. Chatfield's hair tonic. "What in God's name is going on in here?" Aura's father bellows. And that concludes the introductory scene to the Aura Chatfield chapter. It continues with a factual and still entertaining account of Aura and Clara's love affair and how they eloped. They didn't actually end up getting married, but their attempt was the 1889 version of clickbait. It was reported in newspapers all over the world as far away as Australia. But then we go back to a little fantasy. A genie comes out of the geode and time travels Aura to 1975, where she sees Boulder clerk Cleela Rorex issue the first same-sex marriage license in the United States. This is true. Cleela was the lady with the hoop earrings in Aura's vision. And then they time travel to 1992 to hear Jean Dabrowski argue in her short skirt in front of the Colorado Supreme Court. And then on to the present day to witness an actual wedding celebration. So that's the Aura story. There are 13 more stories like this. They're all true, except for the time travel bits, and they're all a lot of fun. Thank you for listening.